What's good, YouTube? Stormy B-Man back with another video for you. Before we get started, shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community, and New Media. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is an editorial, a mini follow-up on my last video about duck soup. In the heavyweight division, there are 4 fighters and at least 3 matches to be made that are dynamic. And currently the boxing world is going ever so far away from making these matches happen, and these fighters are not facing one another. The names are Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder. Fortunately for the fans, Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz finally hit it off, and they got together and had a magnificent fight, last year, 2018, ending in a TKO loss for Ortiz in a battle that went back and forth between both men. It was a highlight for the year and for the division. In the meantime, unified champion Anthony Joshua has placed his WBA, IBF, and WBO world titles on the line, waging battles against Joseph Parker and Alexander Povetkin in his past 2 bouts. These fights were considered lackluster by the fans because there are the other 3 gentlemen in mind who would pose a greater challenge for Joshua and his titles in matches that the fans want to see. He is currently seeking a new opponent after his originally scheduled bout with Jarrell Big Baby Miller has ended with some questionable things behind the scenes. Behind the scenes items that I'd care not to address at this time. So moving forward, I want to take us back to fall of 1992, where we had on the horizon a heavyweight Final 4 showdown that was supposed to put the division in a position to have one face and one name, one champion for the division and the sport in a ultimate match between finalist Lennox Lewis and then later undisputed heavyweight champion and #1 contender and challenger Riddick Bowe. The events of that fall would set the tone for the division for at least the next 8 to 10 years. And we were robbed of a decent, bright heavyweight future at the time. Let me enlighten you. The one fighter from that era and time period of the Final 4 that I didn't mention his name was Evander Real Deal Holyfield, who was the undisputed heavyweight champion at the time. The Real Deal's character was never in question, as he was a true champion in the sense that he wanted to defend against all comers. So he readily signed on for the Final 4, which would pit him against Bowe, his #1 contender with the WBA, and Riddick, who was like number 3, and Lewis, who was #1 for the WBC. So as you see, they were all lined up. And with this Final 4, the winner of that tournament, if you so called it, would be the undisputed heavyweight champion going forward, and will have knocked off the other top three guys. So it would take a while for people to be on the mend to come up and become noteworthy challengers. In today's fight game, we're seeing something quite similar with Wilder, Joshua, Fury, and Ortiz being the top fighters of the division, and two champions, Deontay Wilder holding the WBC and Anthony Joshua holding all the other titles. These men are not looking to square off, but as I said, this is the problem in the sport today. Whereas back in '92, everyone was looking to pit their wares against the best at the top and vying for the title. And the champion who held the titles relished the opportunity of the challenges that were before him. Today, that is not the case. We have Tyson Fury, who is actually the lineal heavyweight champion, having defeated the last undisputed reigning champ, Vladimir Klitschko, in a decision. And we have Deontay Wilder, who has the WBC title, Luis Ortiz, who no one in the division really wants to face because of his background as a dynamic puncher, southpaw, and overall great boxing skills. Why are we being robbed of what's good about the sport? You have to question that. These fighters are young enough and relatively in their primes, with the exception of maybe Ortiz and Wilder being the second at the age of 31, 32, that they could have a succession of fights, matches that could be rematched and keep the fans entertained for the next couple of years. But these men are not fighting one another. And there is a problem in boxing because as the heavyweight division goes, so goes the rest of boxing. So as long as we're not getting a rough and tumble fight from the heavyweight division, we don't have a serious outlook for the rest of the boxing divisions because they look to the heavyweights as the baddest man on the planet. This is what we should be calling for. Ortiz and Wilder have broken the ice. I would love to see Joshua take on either Ortiz, Wilder, or Fury. I would love to see Fury take on Ortiz or Joshua. These matches must be made, people. With Deontay Wilder taking on the winner of any of those combined matches, it'll be an exciting time in the division. This is Stormy B Man. Let's talk about it. Peace.